Thank you very much for joining the Q&A session today. But specifically, we're going to talk about members' lotteries today. Oh, by the way, could I ask if you could put yourself on mute,
Yeah.
unless you want to chat, because there's a little bit of noise in the background. Okay, thanks, Laura. Okay, so a members' lottery, why is it an excellent fundraising tool and why should everyone use it? Okay, so if we come to our control panel, you can see a whole load of features, donations, fundraisers, teams. And when charities first engage in the platform, a lot of the time they have in their mind what are the really good fundraising asks. So people typically understand what a donation is and the cake bake marathon run style fundraisers. And then sometimes charities think we're going to do something really different. So let's hold a raffle. Maybe we'll sell tickets for an event and whatnot. And then what generally people do is they realize there are all of these other modes of fundraising, and one is a members lottery. Okay, so why is it, and why is it a great fundraising tool? So what a members lottery is, it's like a raffle, but it's an ongoing raffle whereby supporters can contribute in a certain amount, just say each week, because they can be run each week or every 2 weeks or every month or every quarter. And your supporters can win prizes over time. Now, just interestingly about members' lotteries, we're finding that it is slowly outpacing the regular donation ask. Now, the reason why we think that is happening is because fundraising has evolved over the last 5-10 years. People now are looking for more of an engaging experience when it comes to fundraising, or they want to be taken along on the fundraising journey. And so where a regular donation is really a one-way transaction, I make a donation, it goes to the charity. Sometimes if I'm lucky, I know where the money's actually going within the charity or not-for-profit. And you may get an email back from the charity, but really it's a one-way transaction. A members lottery is where me as a supporter can contribute money to the charity. And again, the page can identify where that money is going. But important, there's a constant feedback as the members lottery game is progressed over time. Okay, so I run the lottery, it's drawn every month. And so every month I can go back to my supporter base and say, Laura won the £300 this month. Well done, Laura. And everyone in your community, sort of gets excited by that because you're going back to your own community. People get excited. More people contribute more. And importantly, more people contribute because everyone knows somebody within the community who's winning. Okay. So the second part of why we think members lotteries is slowly outpacing regular donations is that people can also win something as well. But I think most charity fundraising, even though somebody can win something, people aren't necessarily entering a raffle or lottery or members lottery or bidding on auction items necessarily for what they can win. It's more of the experience, the playing the game that's really interesting. And also that community feel of every month the members lottery is drawn. Jean this time has won the £300. It was Laura last month. How cool is that? And you can see that interactive element to the fundraising journey that's different from donations. Okay, so let's go through setting up a members lottery, and I can show you different types and modes of members lottery as well. So a bit similar to running raffles. If you look on YouTube, you can see our discussion on raffles. You can run a raffle, but you can run a raffle in multiple different modes to engage with different target demographics. And that's the same with members lotteries. So don't just think there's one mode of running members lottery. Okay. Now let's set up a members lottery and I'll expand out what that means. So if you want to set up a members lottery, click on members lottery, then click create a members lottery page, and it will take you to this page. All of our pages have a name and a description. And all of our pages allow you to display the total that's generated on the page, the total number of supporters, and also to display the share button. So they're common over all of our tools. Now, each page also has its own URL as well. So your members lottery will be off peoplesfundraising.com/members/ and then something. Generally, this defaults to your page name, but you can make it whatever you want to make it. And then you specify when you want the draw frequency to be. So you can run a members lottery every week, or it can be drawn every week, every 2 weeks, every month, every 3 months, every 6 months, or a year. And even with this frequency configuration, you can see that you can hold different members lotteries. So you could, for example, run, I think it's in Spain, isn't it, whereby you can buy lottery tickets throughout the whole year, and there's one draw on New Year's Eve or something. So you could essentially replicate that with a yearly members lottery, but also at the same time you could have that yearly members lottery and you could see the money going up, going up, going up. But alternatively, or at the same time, you can actually run a monthly one as well. Again, the key thing here is we're using the same structure to provide different experiences. Okay, so let's just say it's a month. And then we specify the draw date. We specify if we want to hide the draw date, and we also specify if we want the system to notify the winners or not. Now, just a note on notifying the winners. The system will draw on the draw date, or in actual fact, a few hours after the draw date. And if you set this to yes, the system will email the winners the prize that they've won. Okay, and then you have to give out the prize. Obviously, the system doesn't give out the prize itself. However, we always say that even though the system can email out the winners, email nowadays isn't the most reliable form of communication. It can go into somebody's junk, it could be filtered out, somebody could have put in there an incorrect email address. So our suggestion is always follow up the winners, and you can download the members lottery winners report with all the person's details, including their phone number, and therefore you can potentially give them a call. But also what you want to do with members lotteries, and remember, fundraising is really about engaging your supporters. So you may want to do something like maybe on your Facebook channel or X channel or Instagram, also announce who's won if the person wants to have their name publicized as well. So really making it an event, really engage your supporters. Okay, and again, this is what supporters are looking for. Okay, we specify the ticket price. And again, with this configuration, you can do lots of different types of members lottery. So a lot of members lottery, the ticket price is £1. We've seen members lotteries whereby the ticket price is £10, etc. It can be anything you want. Make that demographic specific. And also, for example, we had the note of maybe you could run a yearly one and a month one at the same time. Maybe the yearly one, again, it could be £1. Maybe the monthly one could be £5. Really play around with these parameters to create a different experience. You specify the total number of tickets that are available, and also you specify the minimum and maximum that tickets that anyone can purchase at one time. And then you specify the sale start and end date. So if this was what I call an accumulator lottery or members lottery, an accumulator members lottery is whereby the ticket price is relatively low. There's an unlimited or a very high number of tickets available, and the end date is just some distant time. Anyone can join the members lottery at any point in time, and just say the prize is, say, 10%, 20%, 40%, 50% of the income. That prize will increase over time the more people engage with that lottery. Okay, so it accumulates over time. Okay, and the accumulator lottery is what most people consider lottery to be, but we've already described that you can have accumulator lottery that runs a year or a month. Okay, now just taking those parameters, we can also create a totally different type of members lottery. Okay, so I love this example. So remember, this is an accumulator lottery whereby the date goes goes into the future. Okay. Now, a different type of lottery you could do is like a high value, high rewards type of lottery. So, for example, I could change the lottery ticket price to, say, £40. Now, let's call it £30. Okay. Now, instead of having a very large amount of tickets, maybe I could just set the tickets to there are only 100 of them. Okay. Now, also what I'm going to do, I'm going to say that you can only buy tickets throughout December. Okay. Now, what could the prize be to this? So just say the prize is 50% of the income. Okay. Now, what I've created now, I've created an exclusive lottery. Now, it's exclusive because maybe not many people are going to, actually pay £30 for a lottery ticket. It's an exclusive lottery as well because there are only 100 tickets. Okay. And it's exclusive because I can only buy tickets for a month. Okay. Now, if the prize is 50% of the income, then that means that every month I've got 1 in 100 chance of winning £1,500. And that they are amazing odds. Absolutely amazing. Where do you get 1 in 100 chance of winning £1,500? However, you as a charity have also generated £1,500 each month. Okay, and so can you see this is a same members lottery, but it caters for a different demographic. Somebody who's got that £30, to spend, but again, you want to make it exclusive. And again, you could up this. You could, and because you can create as many different members lotteries, as many different donation pages, as many different raffle pages as you like, you can play around with what fits in with your demographic. So you could even say, we're going to run a £50 members lottery ticket, members lottery, whereby you can only buy one ticket. There are only 100 available, and you can only buy within December. You've got each month, as long as you stay in the lottery. Remember, there's only 100 tickets, but it's drawn every month. So those 100 people are in the lottery every single month, right? You've now got 1 in 100 chance of winning £2,500. And so you can see that you change these parameters. You change it from every month or every week or every year. You change the parameters of price, and then you've got the same structure, but again, totally different experience. And I think for a lot of charities, these high value limited lotteries would be an amazing addition to your fundraising, I suppose, set of tools and experiences for your supporters. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to go back to the accumulator lottery. So once you know that you can do those exclusive lotteries, £50, £30, 100 tickets, then the accumulator lottery doesn't seem so interesting or exciting, but most people expect the accumulator lottery. Okay, now finishing off the configuration, you put in your promoter details. So these will be the details of your associated lottery license. Now, the promoter details, they'll appear on the page, and they'll also appear when somebody buys some lottery tickets. The system sends out an email with all the lottery tickets they bought. So if it's on direct debit each month, the system will resend out another email with the tickets for that month, and the promoter details will be on that email. Okay, so I press create on that. Okay, the page address is being used, so let's just update this. I press create, and this is where I assign the campaign. So essentially I allocate where the money is going to go, which campaign it's going to, which charity it's going to. And this is where I allocate or I define what the prizes are. Now you can have as many different prizes as you like. For example, I'm going to say there's one first prize. It's a percentage win and you can receive 30%. I create that, but I'm going to add some more prizes. Let's list those prizes. Let's copy that. And even in the prizes, so 30, even in the prizes, you can see that you can have different experiences. So if we go back to the exclusive lottery again, whereby you're buying £50 a ticket, 100 tickets, £2,500. If you're doing 50-50, maybe literally that's the only prize you have. 1 in 100 chance of winning £2,500 each month. But in this case, it's an accumulator lottery. I'm going to specify 30%, 15%, and I think the rest is 5%. Okay. And if, for example, there were two of these, I'll just specify 2, 3, 4. And let's copy that again. One of those, 5%. Okay, so now let's view what we've created. So very, very quickly, we've created a members lottery page where it talks about the next draw date. You can embed images here, YouTube videos and whatnot. It talks about how much, talks about who's it supporting, and it talks about what the prizes are. Okay, so let's go and make some updates to the page. It looks like my sales star date isn't current. So I'm going to go back to the view update or delete members lottery page. I'm going to click update. So what sort of things can we change? Firstly, I need to change the sales start date so people can actually buy tickets. Secondly, you can change the overall look and feel of the page. So if this is the default look and feel for a members lottery page, then I can change it in any way with any of the default themes that are available. So let's have a look. Flags, let's see what that one looks like. So that's a nice flags theme. Flowers. So just play around with the themes. Some of them are really, really quite nice. But again, you can change the default look and feel. Let's just do a light blue one. You can embed your own images into the page. You can link your social media accounts into the page as well. If you have a YouTube video, you get the share URL and you put the share URL where it says YouTube share URL, and the video will also appear in the page as well. You can do a few other things. You can embed documents into the page, like a PDF. You can ask for age verification as well. So just imagine your limited high value lottery. You could specify that you need to be 18 years or over to enter it. So just play around with those optionals. Sorry, those other options. And also you have what we call optionals. So you can associate a donation page to the members lottery page, and when people make individual purchases on the page, they will be asked for an optional donation. Likewise, you can link a tombola page to the members lottery, and when people make a purchase into the page, they can be entered into tombola, and that almost becomes an incentive to buy. And also, you can link memberships to the page as well. Now, what this is that you can set up memberships on People's Fundraising, individual memberships, gold, silver, bronze, community memberships, company memberships. So that's an income or revenue stream for you. And then you can run a members only lottery or a members only raffle or a members only event. So again, you're really monetizing and making interesting the interactions with your supporters. So this is one of those really interesting modifiers whereby it really changes the experience of the members lottery itself. In other words, somebody has to have previously bought a membership in order to enter this lottery. Okay, so we're going to click on update to that. And now if we view our page again, we've changed the theme to a nice blue. It says when it is, and it says what the prizes are. I can now pay with Google Pay, Apple Pay, debit card, or direct debit. Now, or offline as well. So the offline options allow you to enter people into the current draw cycle if they give you cash, check, or bank transfer. So you've got one system for online payments and one system for offline payments. The Google Pay, Apple Pay linked to a debit card and the debit card option allow supporters to enter the current draw cycle. So they won't be entered into, draw cycles into the future. The direct debit option allows supporters to set up a direct debit, so that will enter them into the current draw cycle and then recurring into the future as well. Okay, so if, for example, you don't want people just to enter the current draw, what you can do on your page, you can click update and you can turn off in payment methods the individual payment method itself. So if I now click update here and view, and I get tickets, this is now set up that people can only really pay with direct debit. So this is an example of what you would do on accumulator lottery. If this was set up as a high value, high reward lottery where people have only got 1 month to enter, you may do a different type of payment method. Now, the other way that people use turning off and on payment methods is, just say you run the accumulator lottery throughout the year, okay? Loads of people have set up direct debits, which is really, really great. And come Christmas, you decide to add a further prize. So at the moment, we've got first, second, and third prize. But at any point in time, you can add any prize, and any prize that's attached to the lottery at time of draw will be drawn and allocated. So just say you add in a Christmas bonus, and there are going to be 3 of these. So you specify 3, win time fixed, it could be whatever you want it to be, win value 0. Now, if I view my page now, I've now got the Christmas bonus times 3. This is now attached to my members lottery. Now, when the system draws, and the system will automatically draw, and then it will reset the draw date, the system will now allocate 3 times the Christmas bonus. And then after Christmas bonus, you then remove that prize for the next cycle, so into January, okay? But if I now enable the single donation, single payment method just for Christmas, now people who just want to play at Christmas can now just contribute to the Christmas draw without setting up a direct debit, and then they can be in a chance to win the bonus draw. So the structure and the mechanics can evolve over time. You can add prizes, you can remove prizes at any time, you can turn off and on single payment methods or regular payment methods, really to meet your own requirements, which is great.
Nathan, can I ask about that Christmas bonus
Yes.
situation? So could you turn the Christmas bonus on in so people can see it as a prize in October, for example? And would it then be drawn in October and November and December, or could it be set up earlier?
So the mechanics are that if you attach a prize, the prize will be drawn at the next draw.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So if you set it up, well, if you set it up in October for the October draw, and you said this is a bonus for the last 3 months, so October, November, December, then you would have to remove it after December. Now, if you want to advertise it before, you could always advertise it on the about box,
Yeah.
in the about box, or when you're communicating out on social media, then that's where you'll be communicating. We got a special Christmas bonus, 3 months up to up to Christmas, and that's your last chance. But
Right. Okay.
mechanically, if you've added it as a prize, the system will draw it.
And the Christmas bonus is drawn before any of the other prizes?
It's all random.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the amount that you give for Christmas bonus has to add up to the amount that you have available in the lottery that month.
So that's a really, really good question. The question people ask is, what sort of prizes are related to members' lotteries? Okay,
Yeah.
so your typical prize is a share of the income for that month, for that week.
Mm-hmm.
But the Christmas bonus could be, the Christmas bonus is a teddy bear.
Okay.
Or for example, it could be a Christmas hamper, or you're doing the lottery over the year. You're engaging with schools, you're engaging with companies, and a local restaurant comes to you and they say, "Look, we love this lottery. There's a lot of engagement around it. Can we give a meal for four as a prize?" And so then you put the meal for four randomly throughout the year. All right, thanks very much, Laura. Yeah. Yeah, you attach the meal for four, and it's a bit of advertising for the local restaurant, and then somebody wins that meal for four, and then you take it off again. So prizes can be dynamic through the year, and again, it just doesn't need to be a Christmas bonus. You need to understand again what the value exchange is. You're creating a community around this. You're creating a community communication around it. And again, it could be a local school. So the local school comes to you and they say, we love what you're doing. Can we contribute? And so maybe the school can provide some things. Maybe the school can provide, I don't know, some artwork or something. It could be anything. And then you're using those as prizes. So yes, it doesn't necessarily have to be of monetary value. It can be anything. Now, you could actually have a prize that's 200%, but how do you justify that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, the system doesn't put any constraints into what prizes you should just honour the prizes essentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that puts it in perspective, so that's really helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go to people's fundraising and let's look at some members' lotteries that exist already. And also, I know that We Are Beams, they're on a branded platform. They do a really good members' lottery. Okay, so We Are Beams, they're on a branded platform. They do a 50-50 lottery. However, the prizes are actually a fixed amount. So if you look at their lottery, again, it talks about the next date, £5 for ticket here. It talks about a little about where the money goes. And nicely, what they've done is they use the page itself to publish who's won what. So this page now not only becomes the place where people sign up, but it also turns to be the page where people can see who's won what. And again, you're always bringing people back to the members lottery page, So the October draw, Jacqueline won the £100, Lisa won the £50, and there were 4 prizes of £25. How nice is that? So you're using the page itself for more than just people making purchases. And you can see this has been going on for quite a long time now, which is really, really nice. But their lottery, they've done fixed £100, 25, 25, 25, and 25. Okay. Although I think they need to update their prize. I'm not sure what happened there. Now, if we look on people's fundraising, so let's have a look at some of these. I have no idea what these are all about. So this is a monthly lottery, £5, cash prizes. They need to be more specific. They really need to be more specific about what the cash prizes are. Oh, here we go. Each ticket costs £5 with 50% going towards our projects and 50% forming the monthly prize pot. So that's quite nice. This is a themed page. Looks like they're just setting this up now. Cash prize again. And that's the nice thing about the members lottery, is there's really no outlay you need to do as well. So unlike a raffle, whereby with the raffle you can actually share the income from the raffle, but traditionally people think they're going to win the teddy, win the hamper, win the wine. Members lottery, a lot of the time people think about it's a share of the income. So this is bursted wood, 3 winners each week, which is nice. And it says what the prizes are. This is a South London Christmas dinner one, 30% every month. This is an example of adding an image to the page. This is an example of adding a YouTube video into the page. And this is beams again. So yeah, members lotteries, they are really, really amazing, wonderful tools. And if you're asking for donations, really consider about doing the members lottery. It's far more engaging for your supporter base. And as I mentioned before, the members lottery is starting to outpace the donation ask. So Jean, yes, Jean.
Yes, okay. These pages that you've been bringing up just now are very impressive. They are on your People's Fundraising website?
Yeah, if you go to People's Fundraising,
Yeah.
either the home page or at the bottom, click on Find a Fundraiser, clear filters, click on Members Lottery, wait for it to return, then click Search. What the system does, it just returns a random 7 on there, and you can see a few examples.
Okay, so if one were to be doing this, having set up the page, is there something on the first place with everything that you want to do? Is there something on that page that will start your creation of this part of it?
So you go through the system and you set up your lottery page,
Yeah.
As I've described, and then
Yeah.
the next thing to do is then you want to socialize that to your supporter base. And how you do that, you take the page address and you post it to Facebook, X, Instagram. You maybe put it on your email footers and whatnot. But also you get the QR code and you can click this little QR code symbol here.
Yeah.
And you print that off and you put the QR code in physical locations. So just say you're a PTA, you could put the QR code at the school gate. You could, print the QR code on little leaflets, give the leaflets to the children, and the children could take it home, etc. So use the link and use the QR codes to push out to your supporter base, depending where they are, physical or online, and then people will sign up. So the link and the QR code will both go to the page, and then people will click on get tickets, depending how you've set this up. Maybe it'll just be direct debit, and then they'll be entered into the draw.
Okay, can I ask a couple more questions, please?
Yeah, sure.
Now we have just set up a members lottery, and our first draw will be the beginning of next month.
Yeah.
Can I, having already set it up, can I also use the page in the way that you've been talking about, even though it's already set up?
Yeah, so you can update the configuration at any time.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I have another question, I'm afraid. You were talking about the draw. Now, as I had been thinking about, we were going to use a random draw generator. Is there something using the People's Fundraising page that you've got that will do the draw for you?
So as in the raffles and the members lotteries, the system allocates who's won what. So it's not just a page to take money. The system will take the money, and just say you're running it every month, at the end of every month, the system will draw and allocate who's won what. Okay.
So it will know how many tickets you've sold and
That's correct.
therefore do it through those. So I've no need to do a separate random draw generator.
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Now, so
Good. But the only, sorry, carry on.
yeah, so you specify the draw date, and
Yeah.
so you, in this case, the end of the month.
Yeah.
On the first day of the 12th at something like 2 o'clock, the system will say, okay, which lotteries are drawing on the 30th. It will then say, okay, what frequency is it? And it will say, give me all of the tickets for the last month. And then it will say, that lottery, tell me all of the prizes and how many there are. And so it will pick one of the prizes and it will say, give me a random ticket out of all of the tickets that have been bought within that last month. And that's the winner. And then it will go to either the next. So there are three of it. It will do that 3 times for this, and then it will go to the next one. And it will go to the next one. And so it's all random. And that's the key thing. It needs to be random, and
absolutely. Yeah.
randomness gives that fairness.
Yes.
Now, in order to understand who's won what, you can click on menu, you can click on reports, you go down to the members lottery section, and then there's a download a members lottery prize report. So you click on that. If you look at what that returns, that will return the draw date, the page name. I mean, this is important as well because you may be running an accumulator lottery at the same time as a high value lottery. Okay, so you want the page name, the prize, the particular ticket ID. So maybe I can buy, 10 tickets. So it'll tell you particularly what ticket ID. And then the title, first name, last name, email address, and telephone number of the winner. And so this gives you enough information that you can go and contact that person. And even if the system has automatically notified the winner, because that's one of the configuration options, they will email that person. We always say it's really good to follow them up, maybe give them a telephone call or whatnot, especially if it's a high value lottery. If somebody's winning £2,500, they're going to love to receive that call. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So when you're setting up I've already got 100 odd people who I've got on a spreadsheet who have got their particular numbers and so on. So can I input that data into here? Because you're saying here you've got a prize name and a ticket number and all of the details of them. Do I then have to input all of that into your people's fundraising page?
Okay, so have you set up your own members lottery as opposed to on people's fundraising?
I have, and that's what I'm saying. Can I then put all the data that I have onto here?
Yes, you can. So I'll show you how to
Because
do
some
that.
of the benefits of using people's fundraising is quite clear to me, having sort of spent ages setting this up.
Yeah. Okay, so there's another charity who's doing a very similar thing. Let me show you. So there's a charity called Woman's Aid, North East Lincolnshire, and they have a branded people's fundraising page, and then they're also running a members lottery. They're doing quite a lot of things, which is really quite nice. Okay, so it's a Join Our Safer Futures lottery. Click on here, and you can get your tickets direct debit, £1. It's a really nice looking page. 25%, 15%, and 10%. Really nice, really nicely presented. This is. However, they are transferring from a lottery they've run in pretty much the same way as you're running it. Okay,
Yes.
so they've got people who've paid cash, and it's associated with the old lottery. So what you want to do, you want to transfer all of those people to potentially setting up direct debits or maybe paying yearly or something like that. So what you do is, and what Women's Aid, NEL do is if somebody gives you cash, check, bank transfer just for the current lottery, you would upload it with offline payments. Okay, so somebody's given me £6 worth of tickets and they've given me cash, and I put their details in here, and they've potentially given me an optional donation. But for those, just say you've got, how many people have you got offline at the moment?
About 50.
About 50. Okay. So what you'd do, you'd use the offline bulk mechanism. Okay. And this allows you to upload a spreadsheet of those 50 people. There's a template associated to this. Right. So let's just open this up. By the way, Jean, this is a really good point here, really good discussion. So thank you very much for raising this. So you would have your details of the 50 people in this spreadsheet.
Yeah.
You know, how many tickets they bought, their payment method, and their details. And then once a month, you'd upload this spreadsheet into the system. Okay. Now, as people convert from giving you cash and setting up direct debits, then what you would do, you would remove them from this spreadsheet.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, if people still want to give you cash and check, you would still therefore put their details in here and then upload them every month. But again, what you want to try and do ultimately is get people to set up the direct debits. But this is how you manage offline and online.
In fact, all of my people have set up standing orders.
Okay. Yeah. So you probably may want to ask them to set up direct debits. Now, what is the reason why? So for the supporter, sending a standing order to you is no cost, and there's no transaction cost to you. However, there's an administrative cost to you. You need to go into your bank, you need to find those standing orders, you need to allocate them to the lottery, you need to update the spreadsheet. You know, if somebody doesn't pay 1 month, what do you do then? So there's an administrative burden associated with that standing order, although there's no transaction charge. Okay. With a direct debit, there is a transaction charge, but you don't have any of that administrative burden. Somebody signs up for a direct debit, and then that's it. You don't need to check to see if they paid or not. Now, if they cancel a direct debit, they just won't be entered into that draw. Or if they miss a direct debit and they resume the following month, they just won't be entered into that draw. So you can manage them both. So maybe some people may still just want to give you a standing order, but note though, there's an administrative cost to you processing that standard order. There's just not an upfront transaction cost. Whereas there's no administrative cost of direct debits, but there is a transaction cost. Okay.
Right. Okay. So, I mean, I wouldn't want to change anybody immediately because we've only just set this up, and it would look very bad to say, oh, by the way, we're suddenly going to be doing this. So I can input everything from our spreadsheet onto here and it would work, but I have to do that every month.
You have to do that every month, yeah.
And say in 6 months' time, I can say to people, please transfer to doing it through People's Fundraising with a direct debit.
Yeah. Or,
Okay.
you know, you could just give them the choice. You could say, you know, we've got this new way. These are the benefits for us. We always say, don't be shy about what you do as a charitable organization. Supporters care for you because of what you do, but supporters also care about how you do it as well. You know, so you know, I personally I don't see there's any issue with going to people and saying thanks very much for standing order. You know, we're going to use this system to draw, which is really great. There's an administrative burden. You know, this is just part of charity operations. You know, you can set up a direct debit, and these are the pros and cons for it, because
Okay.
there may always be people who want to give you standing order or cash or check. This is the way to manage it. And so you really need to weigh up what's better for you, taking the admin time to understand all the standing orders, or so that the time and cost for that, or is it beneficial for you to not have that time and cost admin charge, but be subject to the transaction charge? So it's
Okay. Okay, thank you.
analysis you need to do. But just like Women's Aid, they're running both concurrently. And so
Okay.
ultimately, their hope is everyone moves to direct debits, but in practice, there'll probably always be some people who either want to give cash for the year or, you know, whatnot. So they're always going to have this once a month upload.
That's very helpful. Thank you. Now, supposing I go off here and have a look and try and work out what to be doing with the People's Fundraising, and something goes awry, I can't understand something, etc. Is there anybody I can get in touch with at People's Fundraising to give me a hand?
Yeah, always send us an email, support@People's Fundraising, or call us. Our number's on the website at the bottom. And if you need, we'll set up a call and take you through things via a video call.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we've actually just recently changed our telephone number. It's now 0330 043 1301.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Sorry for taking up all that time, Catherine.
No, it's okay. It's really actually very helpful.
Yeah.
So
Perfect.
can I just check the form, I suppose, that people fill in when they're coming in to sign up for the lotteries? We're not asking them for their bank information to be able to pay them direct from the system. We have to do that offline, as it were. So
That's
when
correct.
we need to go back to them and confirm how they would like to receive their winnings.
That's correct. So that is the only administrative task you have. It's how do you transfer the prize to people? Now, we've done that for two reasons. Firstly, the prizes can be anything, so we can't obviously distribute, you know, the teddy bears and the meals and stuff like that. But also, the banking system is such now that if we transferred money to somebody, they would have to go through a KYC. You know, they would have to upload their bank details and passports. So, you know, we now leave that to the charities themselves. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's something for me to talk to our team about.
Yeah.
And to do a lottery, how are we going to actually make the payments to people?
That's right. And what you'll find is, depending what type of lottery, so this is a pound lottery, sometimes the supporter will say, you know, just keep the money. And this is an example of, I mean, we see this all the time. You know, if my son comes back and says, look, the school's doing a raffle, firstly, I'll say, are they on People's Fundraising? But second, I'll say, look, we're playing it not because we want to win, you know, the prizes. It's just something interesting to do. And that's what you find with these as well. Your supporters, it's just more of an engaging experience, you know, than giving you £10 a month. You know, you're speaking to them again, and on Facebook you're communicating who's won. So some people just say keep the money, but again, if you're doing that high value lottery whereby maybe the winnings are £2,500 or whatever, that's probably a scenario they would say, well, okay, we give you our bank details, thank you very much.
Yeah. All right, that's brilliant, thank you.
Okay. Jean, anything from yourself?
I think it'll be a case of trying it out and a bit of trial and error.
Okay. Well, we're always here. Don't be shy to give us a call.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. Catherine, anything from yourself?
No, I think this has been absolutely brilliant and very clear.
Yeah, great.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you so much. That's been really, really helpful.
Yeah, perfect. Well, great. All right. Well, thanks very much, ladies. And
Thank you.
see you again another time. Have a great day.